Hey folks, my name is John Thompson. I'm the founder of Spring Framework Guru. I'd like to welcome you to my course on reactive programming with Spring Framework 5. So Spring Framework 5 was just released in September of 2017. And one of the big themes inside of Spring Framework 5 is the capability to do truly reactive programming. So reactive programming is a new API spec. There's a API specification called Reactive Streams. That is going to be actually included in Java 9. Now we can include that inside of Java 8 easily through an API, and there's several implementations out of there. Project Reactor is the preferred, or the Spring Framework implementation of reactive streams. And in this course, we are going to be looking at how we can utilize reactive streams to effectively stream events, and how we can leverage functional programming and all the streaming stuff that we got with Java 8 and all the new stuff inside of Spring Framework 5. So I have a lot of exciting content coming up in this course. This is a whole new paradigm for programming for us Java developers. It's all new stuff that's been developed over the last couple of years inside the Java community, and now it's really coming to light, and it is a solid modern theme inside of Spring Framework 5. It gives us a lot of new capabilities that simply were not in the framework before or inside of Java. So we now have a functional paradigm and also a streaming paradigm, and we are going to explore that in depth inside this course. So I'm excited. I learned a lot putting together this course. And this is definitely changing the way I do my day-to-day development. I'm doing things more functionally now, less immutability. So it's definitely a paradigm shift from the traditional object-oriented programming world of Java, moving over to reactive and functional. It is a big change, and I'm excited to present all this stuff to you. A lot of cool content coming up. I hope you enjoy it. Hey folks, my name is John Thompson. I am a Java developer, primarily specializing in the Spring Framework. Been doing it for over a decade. I've been in IT for coming up on 25 years now, which is kind of a scary thought that I've been doing this stuff for that long. I actually started in the industry as an intern doing training documentation for a software company that did warehouse management systems. And that was quite some time ago. I worked with that company, went into project management, did a lot of system architecture and design work. And along my career, I became more and more technical and started focusing on being strictly a Java developer, over a decade ago. Today, my primary income is from doing consulting and working with clients. I am a freelance Java developer. I've been doing that for a while now, and it goes quite well for me. I enjoy the lifestyle and the flexibility. It also gives me a chance to see a lot of new and challenging stuff. The clients that I work with are doing a lot of high volume stuff, a lot of very interesting stuff. Really just the sweet spot for the Spring Framework when you start getting into large transactional processing and things that really have to scale. So that's kind of the niche that I've been working in lately. My personal life, I'm a triathlete, so I do a lot of training. Let's see here, I'm recording this in actually April 1st, 2017, and just getting ready for triathlon season. So got my first triathlon coming up here in another couple weeks, St. Anthony's Triathlon. Actually thinking about doing another half Ironman this year, see if I can pull that off. Maybe that's a little too much. So when I'm not doing coding and course content creation, I'm out running or cycling or swimming or something like that, or just headed out downtown St. Pete with my friends. So a lot of great content in this course ahead. Really try to work in a lot of my experience into it, not show you just the mechanics, but also my experience from actually using these technologies out in the field, so you can get a feel for that and leverage my experience from what I've done out in the field. So I really hope you enjoy the content ahead of you. All right, in this course, all the source code examples are tracked inside of GitHub. Now, I get a lot of different skill levels who are taking this course. My students are from a variety of different backgrounds. Some of you are just starting your programming careers, while others of you are experienced developers and developing or expanding out on your skills. Now, if you're experienced with Git and GitHub and you're comfortable using these tools, go ahead and skip this video. This is going to be redundant for you if you already know this. However, if you are not comfortable using GitHub, go ahead and please continue with this video. There's a lot of great information in it. So GitHub is a website built around the source control software Git. Git is software which allows for the incremental tracking of changes made to source code. Git is formally defined as a distributed version control system. Now, as you work through this course, I feel it is important for you to have accurate and complete source code examples to work from. And this is exactly why I'm using GitHub. In this course, you will have complete access to working source code examples. But GitHub is more than just source control. GitHub has a lot of social aspects. These aspects allow developers to easily collaborate together. The same aspects makes GitHub highly popular for use on open source development teams. For example, all Spring Framework projects are tracked inside of GitHub. You can head over to GitHub for the Spring Framework source code and see exactly how the team is using it to manage a large-scale project with hundreds of developers from all over the world. So it's important for you to be proficient in using GitHub. Now, I want to point out that GitHub is completely free to use. The Git client is completely free, so there's no cost involved for you. To help you get up to speed on using GitHub, I'm going to share several resources with you. You can find these links in the course resources. And these links are videos created by the company behind GitHub. The first is a short video called What is GitHub? This video explains to you the concepts behind GitHubs and how it's used for social coding. These are the aspects that make it so popular with large development teams. These features are important because I will be using GitHub in the course to share source examples with you, and we can leverage these social features to help support you in this course. For example, let's say you have a problem you can't resolve. I may ask you to share your project with me on GitHub. Then I will go in and fork your project to my repository on GitHub. This allows me to download the code from my repository to my machine. Now I get your entire project, just not some code snippets, so I can see exactly what you're seeing. Then I can run the code, I'll find the problem, fix it. I can bring it up in the debugger or whatever. Then I'll check in my changes of the fork that I created from your project. And then using GitHub, I will send you a pull request with an explanation of what I fixed. You can then merge in that pull request to your Git repository and see exactly what I changed. Now, this is really important because you get full visibility of the changes that I made to your code to fix it. The next link I'm going to share with you in the course resources is a playlist on YouTube. This playlist is a series of videos also produced by the people at GitHub, and it's going to walk you through different features inside of Git and GitHub of how to check out the code and check it back in. There's a lot of great information in these videos, so even if you're not familiar with using Git, or if you're just somewhat new to Git and don't fully know it, I highly suggest you take the time to watch these videos because there's a lot of really great information in these videos, and it's going to help you expand your knowledge of this very important tool that's used by developers all over the world called Git and GitHub. Okay, one thing I want to point out to you as I do these code examples, what I'm going to provide you in the course resources for every module where applicable, I will give you a beginning and an ending source code. And I think this is important so you can see my progress as things move along. You can go through and follow out the examples. And sometimes if you miss something very simple, like in this one, if you missed the application.property setting, it would have messed you up. So this way you can get the two different branches and do a compare on them and see what's different. And you can also compare it to your code as well. So we have compare tools of that. So in every example, wherever possible, I try to give you both the beginning and ending. And the way I do this, I am using branches inside of Git. And you can see down here inside of IntelliJ, I started off on branch, but now I'm working on a new branch called JPA entities. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to check this in right now into Git for you. And go ahead and commit directory. And I'm going to say adding JPA example. And we'll go ahead and commit and push that. And I'm going to be bad and skip that. Wrong button. Commit and push. And I'm going to say go ahead and commit rather than review so I don't have to go through that. And I am going to go ahead and push it up there. I don't have to do a pull because I am the only one that has access to that repository. So I'm using this all for you. So that is now pushed up to GitHub. And now we can see that we have the JPA entities has been pushed there. So I have branch master, and that hasn't quite caught up yet. But now I can click on here, and now this is the ending source code from that last video that we did on adding the end of the JPA entities. So this way you can do compare and contrast and get that. So when you are following along, be very careful to make sure that you're on the right branch. What I'd like to see people do is check out the starting one and then try and go through the coding exercise, because you really do get the most benefit out of that. But the one problem that trips up people that are new with Git is they'll check out, and what happens is by default you get the master branch. So you check out that and you might not see all the changes if you forget to switch over to the proper branch. So just one potential gotcha using GitHub. Once you get comfortable using Git, and it's an old tool like it is for me, you'll be just fine. But this way, I think it's a pretty powerful tool for you as a student learning Spring to see the beginning and ending source code.